Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Kids Power Hour. This is Connie McClain from Janesville Apostolic Ministries. Our event today is the Tower of Babel, found in Genesis 11, 1 through 9. The memory verse that I would like to share with you today, it's very important for us even today, is found in Psalms 127:1. Can you see that? It says, "Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it." Found in Psalm 127:1. Okay. After the flood, Noah and his sons and their wives began to have children, who grew up and had more children. Soon there were many families on the earth. The families covered much of the land, but still they spoke the same language. As they journeyed from the east, they came to the plain of Shinar. This would be a grand place for us to settle, they said. Why should we go any further? Let's stay here and be comfortable, and let us make ourselves a great nation. We do not want to be scattered all over the world. Let's build a splendid city with a huge tower right at the center, so tall that it would reach the sky. So that's what they started to do. They started to build. Their hearts were full of pride and their own self-importance as they said, look what we have done, and look what we will do. So the people began to build their tower. They found that the soil, they could be made into bricks. And they found tar, which they used for mortar, which would bind their bricks together. Everyone had helped, and soon the tower began to grow quite tall. Day after day, week after week, the world's first skyscraper began to take form, and it began to rise above the plain of Shinar. God saw what they were doing. He knew that they had left him out of their lives, thinking that only how clever they were. They could not reach heaven by building a tower. God also knew that there would be no end to their schemes. God also knew that there would be no end to their foolish ways. Soon they would become evil as the people before the flood. You remember the flood? Remember what they were doing? For their own good, God had to stop them. Crash and boom. God had to strike it. He had to strike what they were doing. He did this by causing them to speak all different languages. Today, many different languages are spoken, like Spanish, French, German, Dutch. The language is, just infinite. I don't even know how many different languages there are. But back then, all the people spoke the same language. One morning when the people came to work on the tower, something amazing happened. Suddenly, throughout the city, people were not speaking the same language. They couldn't even understand each other. One man would ask, "May I borrow your tools?" And the other man would think he was asking for more bricks. How confusing that would be. All was confusion. They became frustrated No matter how loud they shouted, they could not understand each other. Nothing was getting accomplished. Soon they gave up trying to work together. And finally, one man said to his family, "This is too confusing. Let's move." Soon others did the same. So slowly groups had formed after discovering they had the same language. People stayed together with those they could communicate with and who they could understand. At last, no one was left to continue building the tower. It became known as the Tower of Babel, B-A-B-E-L. The word Babel means mixed up or confused. Some people refer to it as the Tower of Babel, B-A-B-B-L-E. God has shown that as clever as the people of Babel were, they couldn't accomplish anything of lasting value if they did not honor God and obey God. However good the work is that we are doing, it will fail if God doesn't bless it. That's why we should always consult God in prayer that our plans will be according to His plans for our lives. Well, that concludes the lesson for today. Please join us next week to discover how God blesses faithful Abraham. And always remember, our memory verse is Psalm 127:1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Thank you, and see you next time.